So in this video, we are going to learn how to trade the VWAP, the volume weighted average price indicator. It's very similar to moving averages. However, the VWAP uses also volume information. So you could say it's a more complete trading tool. In TradingView, it's very simple to set up. We go here to indicator and then we just type in VWAP. You have a few options. I like the first one because it gives you more flexibility. We click on it and then you can see by default it is added here. I like to clean up my VWAP, so we open the settings. I don't need the bands and we don't need the background. And then we are left with the VWAP line. And by default, you will see that under anchor period, it's set to session. And this means that the VWAP resets every single day. So you can see it always resets at midnight. Those are the vertical breaks here. Those are the midnight breaks. And you can see at midnight, it always resets. And by default, the VWAP is mostly used for intraday, day trading. However, what I really like to use is when we open the settings, I like to change the period to weekly. And this makes the VWAP reset every Friday night or every Monday morning when the market is opening again. And you can see that the jumps occur only from Friday to Monday. And this gives you a little bit of a longer term VWAP. And I will show you now in the video how we can trade it and how we can find trades with it. But you can already see that the VWAP is a really interesting tool when it comes to pullback trading, support and resistance trading. And we can use it to time our trades and find good trend following trades that are supported not only by price action, but also by volume at the same time. Something else to consider is looking at the broad chart perspective. Here we can see that the price has risen from the bottom left to the top right. And that means that the price is in an uptrend. We can see that here was a very strong uptrending period above the VWAP already. So this shows us that the market is overall in a bullish trending scenario. And this means we generally want to look for bullish continuations. We don't want to look for short opportunities because this would go against the trend. And what we see here is that the market is building here this flag. After the uptrend, the flag is building. The volume is very, very low here. The price is consolidating very tightly. We don't want to trade in the consolidation flag pattern. We want to wait for a breakout into the trend direction, which we get here. We see an uptick here in volume. So the volume is increasing. The price is breaking out of the channel. In this case, the breakout candle is not super strong. So you could have waited one more candle if this is too aggressive for you. And you could have waited another candle to see if you get more support. Afterwards, you can see the market continue to rise higher. If you've missed the first entry or if this was not convincing enough, you get a second chance. When we zoom in, you can see that the price is retesting the VWAP now, and the VWAP is holding as support. We also see that the volume kept increasing, and exactly at the time of the support retest, we see a new volume peak. This is a much better signal, although the first one is not completely false. This one is much more accurate. And it's a higher probability signal because now the price has already started moving. We have the support retest of the VWAP and we have an even higher volume rating. And we can see that this candle is also an engulfing candle. So this second entry is much better and a higher probability one. And then you can see the market really started accelerating away from the VWAP. The price kept trading above the VWAP, continued to make higher highs and higher lows. And that could have been a very good trend following opportunity. We can follow the price action. You can see the price kept going a little bit longer. Then the market entered a sideways period. The market moved back into the VWAP. It held as support once again. And as the price reached the VWAP, you can see the market is consolidating very, very tightly. So the price action candles are very small and there's no momentum. The overall trend has not changed. The market is still overall very bullish. And you can then see we have a high momentum breakout candle, a very strong breakout candle that also occurs with a lot of volume here. The volume picked up and we have a lot of confirmation. We have the confirmation of the VWAP holding as support. We have the long-term trend, high momentum breakout, and the market is breaking out from this narrow consolidation. So this could have been another trading opportunity here. And then the market moved into the next resistance level where we could have had our first and final target. I also just released a new free ebook which you can download right away. You can go to the link in the video description or in the comments, and then you can download the ebook which contains 22 new trading strategies. There are dozens and dozens of screenshots waiting for you, detailed explanations for the best trading strategies that you can apply to all the markets and all the time frames. Another example here. The price is already in an uptrend. The market here started to make higher highs and higher lows. Then the price fell into the VWAP. This is also a previous resistance that is now turning into support. The price is generally holding above the VWAP. Here we have a little bit of a dip below the VWAP, but the price is immediately shooting back higher. We have low volume here on the breakout attempt. That's also very important. So although the market tried to close below the VWAP and actually did close below the VWAP, the volume support is very low, and that is not a good sign for bears. So we are in an uptrend. We want to look for bullish continuations. The bearish attempt here looked very weak, and that makes this very interesting. The breakout occurs with the perfect breakout candle. We have here a volume peak, so the volume on the breakout is accelerating significantly. We are breaking out from this little range. We still have the long-term trend support. We could use this as our first target, the previous resistance level, and the market moved into this level here. So very straightforward trade example using the VWAP, where you have the trend on your side. The VWAP is holding, the breakout attempt here is not supported by volume, and then the next signal, the one that we've been waiting for, into the trend direction, occurs with high momentum, very strong candle, uptick in volume, and that is then where you want to trade. Here we have a bearish example, so the market is in a bearish trend. You can see we have a strong bearish trend wave, then a very weak corrective wave on the bull side. The price is retesting here the VWAP from underneath. Although this shows a very strong candle here, it immediately fails and the market is not able to hold above the VWAP. That's a very strong rejection signal of the VWAP. We could also say that we have a flag pattern here. So we want to wait for the flag to break, which happens a few candles later. The market is closing below the flag. We are here in the downtrending scenario and the market is continuing on the downtrending play. We look left for a potential target on the last swing point, and that is how we could structure the trade. The market moves into the trend direction. You can see the immediate breakout out of the flag was not supported by high volume. And if you skip this trade because volume is an important criteria, that's totally fine. You get a little bit of a move against here, the downtrend. And then as the price returns into the downtrend, that's where you then see the supporting volume. So if you only trade high volume breakouts, you would have skipped the first one and you would have waited here for this uptick in volume after this short consolidation is over. And then you take the second entry when the momentum is picking up, it's supported by a high volume, and that's where you find a good trend following trading scenario. So a great and very simple way to trade the VWAP is by looking for tight consolidations that go around the VWAP. So you can see the blue line here in the background is the VWAP, and we can see we have this channel where we can use a trend line at the top side and to the downside, and the price is trading within the channel. Generally speaking, you don't want to trade inside a channel. You always want to see that the market is breaking out of a channel. Here we can see the breakout is occurring, and now we have the confirmation that the market is above the VWAP. Also, you can see volume increase. And this is a very important signal for high probability breakouts. You always want to see high volume breakouts. When the price is trading within the range, you can see that the volume generally was very low. There was a time when the volume picked up here slightly. However, you can see the price was not making any higher highs and the market was still below the VWAP. So we can ignore this signal. Here, on the other hand, looks very different. We have the breakout from the channel above the VWAP and also here with high volume. We can look left for targets. We can find a previous swing point, and that could be used as our first target. The market pushed into the target, and one thing to note is that we have extreme high volume. So when you see that a candle is building with extreme volume, you don't want to close your trade because this shows that there's a lot of support for this trade. A lot of people are buying, not many people are selling, and the market is pushing higher. So even the market hit your first target, I think it's a very good practice to analyze volume and then maybe only take partial profits and let the rest run, because you can see that this looks overall still extremely bullish and you could have let the trade run. The market comes back to retest the previous resistance swing point now as support, and the trend kept going afterwards. And all occurred after the breakout from this narrow consolidation channel with the confirmation of volume and a breakaway from the VWAP. So let's take a look at another example. As we can see here, the price is in an uptrend, but the market has already pulled far away from the VWAP. And this is not a good place to get in. Ideally, you want to get in on pullbacks when the price is reaching a lower level and retesting the VWAP. So let's see what happens. The first retest we get here, the market failed to reach the VWAP here, but now the market has hit the VWAP. However, this occurs with extreme high volume on the bearish candle. That's not a good place to get in. And we want to see that the market is actively rejecting the VWAP here before we consider a long entry. The next candle shows us a really interesting entry pattern. We see that the market tried to push through the VWAP, it left a very long wick and the market closed higher here for this candle. Very aggressive traders might consider an entry here already, although usually you would like to see the market move away a little bit stronger from the VWAP. It depends on your entry style, how you want to trade it and how much confirmation you want to have. Typically you can then place your stop loss below the candle low, and for targets we could zoom out and look left, and here we see some resistance at the left side that we can use for our potential target. So this is how you could play that. Now we're going with the trend. We have waited for the market to pull back and actively reject the VWAP, which is a very good confirmation. The market is pulling away from the VWAP. The market has now broken previous highs here, which is another very good confirmation tool and a confirmation signal. Let's see what happens. The market has now hit the target that we identified on the left side and we would be out. So this is a good trend confirmation example. We are going with the trend. We wait for the consolidation to be over and then we get in on the next impulsive wave. So this is a trend continuation approach where you wait out the pullback into the VWAP. You want to look for a rejection of the VWAP and then look for continuations.